You've tuned into The Mountain Gardener with your host, Ken Lain. Gardening, it can be challenging, but with these simple insider tips, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, let's tune into today's Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa. And welcome to this week's edition of The Mountain Gardener. Your host, Ken Lain, here every week talking about the landscapes of northern Arizona. And what a beautiful, beautiful growing season it is. We're in our second growing season. So the mountains here in Arizona has two planting seasons. One is spring. Everyone knows that one. The frost is done. We can finally be out there in Prescott here. We generally use Mother's Day as the planting kind of go date. But really, it's later than that. Yes, Mother's Day, that's when we stop to see frost. Okay, we're not going to see snow anymore, hopefully. Not in June for sure, but back then. But now, this is the start of the monsoon rains. So even if you haven't had rain, you'll notice that your plants are starting to react, to thrive. They're picking up their moisture from the air. They love the cloud cover. It's actually a better time to plant now than it is back in spring, because in spring, the soil is so cold. I mean, you put a plant in the ground and yes, the frost doesn't come and nip the tops and take the frost, take the blossoms off, doesn't take the fruit off. But this time of year, the ground is warm. You put it in the ground. If you're watering enough, if you hydrate that soil around the roots, the plants get in this nice, warm, moist soil and they kind of go, whoa, I'm liking this. And they just take off. So it's not just that the air is warm, it's when does the ground warm up? And then you increase the humidity. So when we had spring, it's just this prevailing southwest wind. Oh, never stops, day and night. And it wears on you. Well, it wears on the plants too. And sometimes it can be strong. So you get this tender new growth coming out of your plants. And a nice wind whip comes and just tears the leaves. We call it wind tear or leaf tear. It's the wind is taking that tender new growth and ripping it a new one, basically. This time of year, the foliage has been leafed out. They're mature. They've thickened up. Most of the plants have actually put on an extra ring of wood or extra layer of actually wood material. And so they're much sturdier now. And so the insider tip I can give you, if you're planting, this is when people make mistakes. And so you Phoenix folks, you poor Phoenix folks, Palm Springs, Tucson, you folks just think it's summer, go inside, crank up the air conditioner and just pay the bill. It's worth staying cool. Well, you're not in Phoenix anymore. This is beautiful. This is God's country. You're up in altitude where it's just cools off at night. So, but the ground can still be dry. And so when I open up my ground to put a new plant, let's say I'm going to put a new apple tree in, a new dwarf peach or a new rose of Sharon or smoke bush, whatever it is, rose bush. If I'm going to put something new in the ground, I'll dig the hole the same depth as the root ball, 3 times the width, because the roots go sideways, they don't go down. And then what I'll do before I pull that plant out of the bucket, I'm going to bring the hose over and I do 2 things. One, I fill up my watering can. Before I even really start, I fill up my 2-gallon watering can and I top it off with Root and Grow. This is a transplant shock thing. And the plants are going to freak out. I don't care what time of year you're going to plant. They're going to go, whoa, what just happened? You took me out of my home and you put me into this? What is this soil? It's going to try to figure it out. It's going to freak out. I'm going to have my Root and Grow transplant shock liquid ready to go in my watering bucket. Right after I'm done doing that, I'm going to take that hose while it's still running full steam ahead. I'm going to fill that planting hole halfway up with water. And here's why. This is a mistake a lot of rookies make. When they put a plant in and they water it, they're watering the plant. They're thinking, I just need to water that plant. But if you leave the ground around the root ball dry, the soil actually wicks the water away from that new plant. And you may have watered the plant, but the soil just takes it right away. So it's like a huge sponge around that root bulb. Well, if you know that, and you can super hydrate the sponge or the soil around that new planting, you can almost protect it, keep it from drying out. You just have to remember to hydrate it before I plant. So I really like to fill that hole up halfway. And then I'm almost mucking around. I'm setting that plant in a mucky, wet, gooey soil basin. Then I backfill and I start to bring up the soil around the root ball and I kind of pack it all down. But what I'm really doing up front is I'm watering the soil around that plant before I even think about pulling that thing out of the bucket. Put it in the ground, pack it in. I'm adding some mulch, some compost, some all-purpose plant food. There's three things: mulch, food, root and grow. When you plant anything, and come in and ask for a planting guide. They're free. We want you to be successful. But this is kind of the point here isn't the material. The point is, don't plant even a moist plant in a dry hole. Don't plant in a dry hole. In fact, if you're in that valley area where it's really thick clay, you got some caliche layers, or up closer, let's say up by Thumb Butte or up Copper Basin area, there you've got some rock boulders, some rock shelves are in there. So if you think maybe I don't have the drainage I need, or I'm not quite sure, then another benefit of taking that hose and filling up that planting hole first is you can check the drainage. In fact, if you're filling it up and an hour later you still have water there, you've got a questionable planting hole. If you're really in doubt, fill the hole up with water in the morning. And if you've got water still sitting there at the end of the day, you did not plant a planting hole. You dug a bird bath or a bathtub or something. It's not going to grow anything. It's just holding water too much. So if you see that, what we do is we dig a chimney or a piece of that planting hole. We'll try to dig down to the next layer, next soil band. And as soon as you do that, it starts to drain right away. So almost it'll start to flow. So you folks that closer to Granite Mountain, some of these granity areas, boy, as fast as you put the water on there, it just disappears. I don't know where it goes. You poor folks that have a lot of gophers. Pocket gophers are famous in Skull Valley, Paulden. Sometimes they're so bad you start watering. There's so many tunnels under there, the water just disappears. That's not good either. So kind of there's a balancing act, but test it if in doubt. A lot of the growth seems to be happening out in that Dewey, Humboldt, up the Prescott Valley area, up towards Cordes, Coyote Springs, Paulden. Those are real hard planting areas. So it gets a challenge. And you folks in the Verde, the same applies to you all. You've got different soils depending on where you're at, as adjacent to the river is. So it's Sedona. You guys are tuned in. So there you've got those rock shelves. You just never know. Test it before you plant. And then if water's sitting there at the end of the day, that's not good. Keep digging. If water seems to be disappearing, seems to be going down, you go, oh, got it going. So there you've simply been hydrating that soil around the planting hole before you put your plant in. It's a game changer, especially in the summer. This is such a good time to plant. It's almost like peak time, more success, as long as you get that one thing right. Now, I mentioned before I get done, I have my watering can with my root and grow sitting there. So I'll try to hydrate the soil, plant the plant, pack things in. I don't want air pockets around the root ball. When I'm all done, I'm going to try to hydrate the plant, get the rest, that top layer of soil planting area hydrated. And then at the very, very end, I'm going to take my watering can, 2 gallons extra, with my root and grow. I'm just going to water it in because this makes, what that is, it's a compost tea. So I blend it. I've got some, I'm going to detail, but I've got some compost and I make this tea out of it. So it looks like molasses, like a real rich, thick thing. And so, but plants respond to this really well. It's like liquid compost. And so you pour that around the roots and the plants just go, oh, it's going to be okay. Oh, this is going to be good. Not only that, but compost tea activates the mycorrhizals. It attracts the worms, lots and lots of benefits. And I'll use that every couple of weeks till I see the plant going, oh, It's growing. I'm a gardener. There we go. That's kind of the insider tip to summer planting, the best time to plant in the mountains of Arizona. Imagine walking past a massive tree canopy in your yard, knowing its roots will outlast the century. To celebrate America's 250th anniversary, Waters is planting 250 Liberty trees across the county. This is your chance to secure a living landmark of strength and endurance. A custom Liberty Tree medallion celebrates every tree planted. Pre-order trees online right now at watersgardencenter.com. Then pick up your trees at our festive July 3rd pickup right here at Waters Garden Center in Prescott. For a more fruitful garden, increase success in the landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Mountain Gardener podcast. Subscribe through your favorite podcast streamer or visit watersgardencenter.com. Better yet, visit me directly right here at Waters Garden Center. Thanks for tuning in.